When Land Rover launched the first-generation Range Rover Sport in 2005, it wasn't just another SUV, it was a statement. Combining sporty dynamics, luxury craftsmanship, and legendary off-road capability, the L320 carved out a new place in the premium SUV segment. With its aggressive stance, muscular lines, and advanced technology, the Sport promised a driving experience that was as at home on city streets as it was on the roughest trails. Over the next 8 years, it would redefine what a performance-oriented, luxury off-roader could be, and still remains a benchmark for enthusiasts today. The first-generation Range Rover Sport, internally coded as the L320, was produced between 2005 and 2013. Unlike its larger sibling, the Range Rover, this model was designed as a sportier and more dynamic alternative within the Land Rover lineup. The design work was overseen by Jerry McGovern, who later became Chief Design Officer at Land Rover, and the vehicle borrowed heavily from the Range Stormer concept shown in 2004. The Sport was built on a modified version of the Discovery 3's integrated body frame architecture, meaning it was not a downsized Range Rover but rather a unique model with its own engineering approach. In 2009, Land Rover introduced a facelift that modernized the front and rear styling, updated the interior with higher quality materials, and introduced new, more powerful engines. This update also brought in new technology, including advanced infotainment systems and improved driver assistance features, ensuring the Sport remained competitive against rivals like the BMW X5 and Porsche Cayenne. The first-generation Range Rover Sport was offered exclusively as a 5-door SUV, with seating for 5 passengers as standard. Unlike the full-size Range Rover, the Sport had a slightly shorter wheelbase and a lower roofline, giving it a more athletic stance on the road. Despite this sportier profile, it still carried the imposing and squared-off design cues that were essential to the Range Rover identity. The bodywork was characterized by its muscular lines, clamshell hood, and distinctive side vents, design features that helped separate it visually from the Discovery 3, even though the two shared a common platform. At launch, buyers could choose from a wide range of trim levels, from more understated luxury-oriented versions to high-performance models like the Supercharged variant, which included unique exterior detailing and larger alloy wheels. The 2009 facelift sharpened the styling further with new headlights featuring LED daytime running lights, a redesigned grille, and cleaner bumpers. At the rear, subtle changes to the tailgate and exhaust finishes gave the vehicle a more contemporary look. Inside, the facelift also brought upgraded seats, improved ergonomics, and higher-grade leather and wood trim options, reinforcing the SUV's luxury appeal. Under the hood, the first-generation Range Rover Sport offered a wide range of gasoline and diesel engines, tailored for different markets and driving expectations. At launch in 2005, the most powerful option was the 4.2-litre Supercharged V8, borrowed from Jaguar, delivering 390 horsepower, 550 Nm of torque, and a 0 to 100 km/h time of 7.6 seconds. This engine gave the Sport genuine high-performance credentials despite the vehicle's considerable weight. Alongside it, Land Rover offered a naturally aspirated 4.4-litre V8, also sourced from Jaguar, producing 300 horsepower, 425 Nm of torque, and a 0 to 100 km/h time of around 8.6 seconds. While not as aggressive as the Supercharged variant, it provided smooth power delivery and suited the model's luxury character. For efficiency-oriented buyers, especially in Europe, diesel engines played a major role. Early versions included the 2.7-litre TD-V6, co-developed with PSA, producing 190 horsepower, 440 Nm of torque, and a 0 to 100 km/h time of 12.7 seconds. It was praised for its balance of torque and economy, though it struggled with the vehicle's weight under demanding conditions. Later, the lineup expanded with more powerful options like the 3.6-litre TD V8 diesel, delivering 272 horsepower, 640 Nm of torque, and a 0 to 100 km/h time of 9.2 seconds. This transformed the Sport into a strong long-distance cruiser with excellent towing capacity. The 2009 facelift introduced updated engines to meet stricter emission standards. The naturally aspirated 4.4-litre V8 was replaced by a 5-litre V8, producing 375 horsepower, 510 Nm of torque, and a 0 to 100 km/h time of 7.6 seconds. The flagship supercharged version now featured a 5.0-litre supercharged V8 with 510 horsepower, 625 Nm of torque, and a blistering 0 to 100 km/h sprint of just 6.2 seconds. On the diesel side, a more refined 3-litre TD V6 joined the lineup, offering 245 horsepower, 600 Nm of torque, and a 0 to 100 km/h time of 9.3 seconds. All versions were paired with a 6-speed automatic transmission from ZF, renowned for its durability and smooth shifting, and permanent 4-wheel drive with a low-range gearbox, staying true to Land Rover's off-road heritage despite the Sport's road-focused marketing. From its launch, the Range Rover Sport was equipped with a wide range of technologies that blended Land Rover's off-road expertise with luxury and everyday usability. One of the standout innovations was the terrain response system, introduced first on the Discovery 3 and then adapted for the Sport. This feature allowed the driver to choose between different modes: general driving, grass, gravel, snow, mud and ruts, sand, and rock crawl, each adjusting the throttle response, gearbox behavior, center differential, and traction control to suit the terrain. Another key feature was the electronically controlled air suspension, which could automatically adjust the ride height depending on speed or driver input. What made it especially impressive was its ability, within mechanical limits, to keep all 4 wheels in contact with the ground, even when navigating uneven terrain where other vehicles might lift a wheel in the air. By adjusting ride height, distributing torque, and applying selective braking, the suspension ensured maximum traction and stability, giving the SUV a smooth, planted feeling over obstacles. Luxury equipment was also a strong selling point. Early models came with options such as premium leather upholstery, real wood trim, heated seats front and rear, dual-zone climate control, and a Harman Kardon audio system. Higher trims offered adaptive cruise control, DVD entertainment for rear passengers, and advanced navigation. The 2009 facelift enhanced these features significantly. Inside, the infotainment system was redesigned with a touchscreen interface, improved graphics, and updated connectivity. Materials were upgraded across the cabin, with better quality leather, aluminum, and wood accents. The facelift also introduced adaptive headlights with LED technology, keyless entry, push-button start, and improved driver assistance systems like blind spot monitoring and a more advanced stability control program. Compared to the full-size Range Rover L322, the Sport shared the same sophisticated air suspension technology and terrain response capabilities, but with a few key differences. While the L322 prioritized maximum comfort and luxury, the Sport's suspension was tuned slightly firmer and more dynamic, with dynamic response anti-roll bars that reduced body roll on the road while still allowing excellent articulation off-road. Essentially, the Sport offered almost identical off-road capability to the larger Range Rover, but in a more compact, agile, and sport-oriented package. In essence, the Range Rover Sport combined serious off-road hardware with luxury car technology, offering a driving experience that could switch seamlessly from rugged terrain to city boulevards. While the first-generation Range Rover Sport offered impressive performance and cutting-edge technology for its time, it was not without its typical issues. The entry-level 2.7 TD V6 diesel, co-developed with PSA, was generally reliable but could suffer from bearing wear and clogged EGR valves, affecting performance and smoothness over time. The 3.6-litre TD V8 diesel was a strong and torquey unit, yet EGR and turbocharger problems could appear after heavy use, particularly if oil changes were neglected. The naturally aspirated 4.4-litre and 4.2-litre V8 petrol engines were smooth and durable, although some owners reported occasional timing chain tensioner noise and the well-known high fuel consumption of large petrol engines. Later facelift engines, such as the 5-litre V8 and the 5-litre supercharged variant, delivered excellent performance but required attention to the chain drive on the supercharged models and came with higher running costs. The Range Rover Sport suspension and drivetrain were among its strongest features, but even these advanced systems could develop issues over time. The air suspension provided exceptional comfort and off-road capability, yet air spring leaks and compressor failures were not uncommon on older vehicles. The dynamic response active anti-roll bars, while enhancing on-road handling, occasionally experienced faults that affected driving feel. Similarly, the terrain response electronics were generally reliable but could be affected by sensor failures or software glitches, temporarily limiting the vehicle's off-road abilities. Inside, the electronics and infotainment systems could present minor problems, especially in early models. Screens could freeze, navigation systems could misbehave, and power functions such as windows, central locking, and memory seat sometimes failed as the vehicles aged. Despite these potential issues, the Range Rover Sport rewarded owners who kept up with attentive maintenance. While repairs could be costly, the combination of high performance, serious off-road capability, and luxury made it a uniquely rewarding vehicle for those willing to invest in proper care. The first-generation Range Rover Sport L320 remains a unique SUV that successfully combined luxury, sportiness, and genuine off-road capability. With a design that balanced aggression and refinement, and a chassis derived from the Discovery 3, it offered an experience that was both dynamic on the road and capable on the roughest terrain. The wide range of engines, from the efficient 2.7T V6 to the blistering 5-litre supercharged V8, meant there was a sport for almost every type of driver, whether prioritizing economy, performance, or torque for towing. Its air suspension and terrain response system set it apart from many contemporaries, including the first-generation Audi Q7, allowing it to maintain traction and stability where other SUVs might struggle. While the smaller 2.7-litre diesel and even the high-performance petrol engines could develop typical issues over time, attentive maintenance rewarded owners with a vehicle that combined rugged capability and luxury in a way few competitors could match. Compared to its big brother, the Range Rover L322, the Sport offered nearly the same off-road competence but in a more compact, agile, and urban-friendly package, with a slightly firmer ride that made it feel sportier on the road. Today, the L320 is remembered not only for its styling and performance but also for its ability to straddle two worlds, serious off-road SUV and premium luxury vehicle, making it an enduring favorite among enthusiasts who appreciate both capability and character. The first-generation Range Rover Sport L320 proved that an SUV could be luxurious, sporty, and seriously capable off-road. Even today, it stands as a benchmark in its class, a vehicle that combines elegance with rugged performance. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth car reviews.